Hello everyone. In this video I'm going to be talking about how to set up or introduce direct quotations. It's really important if you're going to be clear in your writing that you learn to signal to your reader the direct quote and so that it won't jar them. It also helps clarify or distinguish your words from the words of the author. And also, it forces you to really think about why you're using that quote. Remember, quotes are like ornaments on a Christmas tree. They're to support, but it's your ideas that are important. So don't make your whole paper one long list of block quotations. As a matter of fact, you shouldn't have but maybe one block quotation per 10 pages or so in an academic paper. Instead, use your own words, paraphrase, and summarize. But I want to give you an example of how you set this thing up, how you set a direct quote up. And it's really kind of in three stages or three sections. First, you introduce the quote, then you give the quote. That's the second part. And then in the third part of this, you summarize what you want your reader to take from the quote. Now let's take a look at you saw this first paragraph in something I was working on in another video to give you an example of parts of a paragraph. But let's take a look at this and you'll see what I mean. We'll start at the beginning. When human beings fell, they experienced total alienation on three levels. First, on the top level, they were alienated from God. Second, on the middle level, they were alienated from each other. And last, on the foundational level, they were alienated even from themselves. This self-alienation is evident in their avoiding responsibility for their behaviors as God confronted them. Although all these levels are important to understanding the current state of the created order, it is on the foundational level, the level of self-alienation, that Christian counselors encounter the most. If self-alienation is a prominent component of the problems people bring to counseling, then wise Christian counselors can benefit from a thorough understanding of the inner dynamics of such an experience. Now here we go into the quote part. You'll see the introduction in this paragraph here. Fortunately, self-alienation has not been restricted to the biblical narrative. In the mid-20th century, social psychologist Leon Festinger popularized a psychological concept known as cognitive dissonance to explain the experience of those encountering self-alienation. In Festinger's thinking, this alienation occurred as people struggled in resolving conflicting truths. He called this psychological state cognitive dissonance. Now that's the introduction. I'm talking about cognitive dissonance here and how it contributes to self-alienation. And then, so here comes the quote to define what we're talking about. Cognitive dissonance can be understood as, and here's the quote, a state of tension that occurs when a person holds two cognitions, ideas, attitudes, beliefs, opinions, that are psychologically inconsistent with each other, such as smoking is a dumb thing to do because it could kill me, and I smoke 2 packs a day. Dissonance produces mental discomfort that ranges from minor pangs to deep anguish. People don't rest easy until they find a way to reduce it. Now, here's the summary part. So I've given you the introduction to the quote, I've given you the quote, and here's the summary or what I want you to take from the quote based on what I'm writing in this article. So cognitive dissonance creates a psychological state so unbearable that people will do just about anything. An example, hide, blame others, rationalize or justify their behaviors, and even blame God in order to reduce it. As such, we have a psychological process that helps explain at least part of the dynamics at play in what the Bible portrays as sinful behavior. So if you see that, what you'll see is the reader knows where I'm going with this. I've introduced the quote, I've given the quote, and then I've summarized what I want the reader to take from the quote, and that naturally will lead to the next paragraph in the paper. Well, I hope this has been helpful. So just remember, you introduce a quote, you set it up by introducing the quote, you give the quote, and then you summarize what you want your reader to get from the quote. And remember, use quotes for a reason. Don't just simply use them to eat up page real estate so you'll cover certain minimum page requirements. Well, I hope this has been helpful. If you have any questions or comments, please enter them down in the comments section. I enjoy interacting with you in that forum. God bless, and I'll see you in the next video.